So everyone, in this video, I'm going to share and explain you about my final project in decision analysis by using the super decision application. So in this part, I'm going to find out where should I buy my groceries, uh, and in my opinion, which supermarket is suitable for me, and that is the goal. And for the criteria, I have made three types of criteria, which is the completeness, distance, and the freshness. For the alternative result would be hockey, papaya, ranch market, or the traditional market. So for the first step, we will make the cluster by clicking the design in new cluster. And let me remake this part. So we will give the name goals with S, and we click save, and then here we go. We have the new cluster, and if we want to add the node, we just click add node, and we will write here, for example, kimberly. Save. Okay, so here it is, and if you want to edit it, you just click this part, or you can erase it by clicking this button. Okay, so that is the first step to make the clusters, and then we want to connect it between the goal with the criteria, between the criteria and the alternatives by clicking this button here. So in this button, we will select the parent node. So in this part, the parent node is buying groceries. And I have checked the criteria, which is the completeness, distance, and the freshness. And for the next step, we will connect the criteria and with the alternatives, which we will do it manually one by one. For example, the completeness, I have ticked the 4 alternatives, and I have done it with the distance and the freshness too. So when we have connect the clusters, we will see there is an arrow that connects them, and we are finished with the first step in the network. Next is the judgments. The judgments, we will pick the node, and we choose the node to buy groceries. So in the questionnaire part, we can see that there are three points, and I have made my own criteria. I choose that the completeness is more important than distance. The freshness is more important than the completeness and the distance. But we will not discuss more about the questionnaire, but we will see the direct. So in this direct part, we can see that I have met the result that the freshness is the most important criteria for me. Distance is the least one, and the middle one is the completeness, which is 0.234. And we can see there is a small chart here. We can see that the blue color is giving me the sense that it was very important. And the next part is the rating. So I have done the rating by doing 3 steps at first. So the first step is selecting the criteria. So my criteria is completeness, distance, and freshness. You can click the criteria 2 times to make this happen, or you can click it one by one. And you can also remove it by clicking this button. And then for the second part is the alternatives. I have input all of the alternatives, which is the hockey, ranch market, traditional market, and papaya. And for this part, let me tell you how to do it. For example, I want to input Alpha Mart. I write here and I create the alternatives, and it will be shown here or here. But in this part, the priorities and the priorities will be 0 because I haven't input the completeness, distance, and the freshness. And if you want to edit it, you can click twice and you can edit it here. For example, I will put Alphamart Go and save edited, and it will be refreshed here. or you can also delete it by clicking this button. And for the third step, we will define the rating scale. So from the criteria, the completeness, distance, and the freshness, let us move to the Excel one. So basically the step will be defining the normalized and the idealized. So in the completeness, I differentiated between the domestic item, mostly import item, and 50-50, which is balance between both of them. And I tend to scale it 3 for 50-50 because for me, it's important to have both in a place. And for the second one, I prefer to have domestic item more than import. And then this is the sum of this. And for the normalized, we just divide the scale with the total scale, and we can get these numbers. And for the idealized, we just do this formula, and we can get it. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Basically like that. For the distance, I differentiate it between the more than 3 kilometers. Sorry, more than 3 kilometers and less than 3 kilometers. And for me, the nearer the place, I prefer to go there. So I put 2 in here and 1 in here. For the freshness, I differentiate between once a day, 3 times a day, or once a week. And I prefer to have the item fresh every day. So I put 3 to the once a day item, 2 to the 3 times a day, and 1 to once a week. So let me go back to this part. So we can compare it. So we click the compare part and we go to the direct. So I scale it using the ideal number for me. This is 3, 2, and 1 based on what I have explained before. And if you have input the numbers, don't forget to click the other numbers, so your number will be saved. And then we can get this kind of graph, and we do the same thing with the distance and the freshness. So for the last part, actually you can click this and there are several selections. And for me, hockey is 50-50 because they are complete between the domestic and the import one. Same as ranch market. For the traditional, it is mostly domestic, of course, and papaya is mostly import, whether it is from Japan or other countries. And based on the distance, I have searched in my Google Maps that it turns out that Hoki, Ranch Market, and Papaya, the 3 supermarkets are more than 3 kilometers from my home, which is around 4.3 kilometers. So the nearest is the traditional market. And then for the freshness, turns out that every supermarket has their item new once a day, and Ranch Market has it 3 times, 3 days, 3 days in a week. And I have this data from the people in the supermarket. So I usually go to Hoki and Ranch Market and ask whether when will they have the new items, and turns out only Ranch Market who change the item 3 times, 3 days, 3 days one time, like that. Okay, so from this part we can see the synthesize, and this is the result. And we can see that the decision made me to go to hockey because the priorities is much higher in hockey than the others, even though it's like 0.02 difference with the traditional market. But this app really tells me to go to hockey better. I think it is true that I like to go to hockey based on my preference. And then for the sensitivity, we can see that the sensitivity is shown that hockey is the highest one. So yeah, again, it is better to go to hockey than branch market, regional market, or papaya based on my criteria. So I think that's it for my project. I hope this is going to be helpful for everyone who sees this. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And may God bless you. Stay safe at home. Goodbye.